All right, good evening. It is Monday. Yes, it is Monday, the 17th. I wanted to hop on real fast and talk a little bit more about the possibility of strong thunderstorms as we head into the day tomorrow. We've got a couple different times that we're looking at the potential for a few strong thunderstorms. It's not going to be widespread, so there's only going to be a certain area that we're mainly looking at for tomorrow as well. But wanted to discuss a little bit about that, and we'll talk about the week ahead as well. Ron, thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Good to see you. And Simply Beachy Forever saying, please tell me no tornadoes. Unfortunately, there's going to be a low end tornado risk for tomorrow. But again, it's not for everyone. Let me go back here to my map. We'll take a look at what we've got going on right now. So this is going to be broken down into two rounds. The first one coming in tomorrow morning about 9 a.m. through about 2 p.m. The warm front that you see here is actually going to be where we see that first batch of showers and storms. The good news is I do want to stress overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, there's no risk for severe weather. So we don't need to be real concerned about tonight. We get into tomorrow after 9 a.m. That's going to be when we'll start to see the timeline. So quick look at the map. This is our severe weather outlook as we head into tomorrow. And I'll zoom out a little more just to give you a little more perspective. Storm Prediction Center has us in a level 1 risk for those that are north of 40, more concentrated to the southern Kentucky and Tennessee state line. So this extends more into Indiana, into Illinois, throughout much of Kentucky. We're sort of on the fringe of this. So if we zoom in pretty closely here, we're looking at all of our southern Kentucky counties, and then most of that first tier of counties in Middle Tennessee bordering Kentucky. I would go ahead and include Clarksville. It includes Hopkinsville, Tompkinsville, Bowling Green, Portland, Gallatin, Franklin, Lafayette, Westmoreland, Livingston. These are all locations that we'll be looking for the potential of a couple strong thunderstorms. As I mentioned, there's going to be a timing here. We're looking at we're looking at the potential for a few thunderstorms that'll be possible between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. Now, the main threat with this first line is going to be more so wind and hail. It's if you've been outside today, it's really, you don't even have to go outside, but it's real dry. In fact, I've been having to put lotion on my hands because it's been so dry out there. And that is still the case. The air is quite dry. So it's going to take some time for the atmosphere to reload, if you will. We need a lot more moisture in the air before we can even discuss the potential for strong thunderstorms. So the morning risk is going to be more in the way of hail and of wind. The tornado risk, it's not zero, but it's really small compared to what we could find in the afternoon, which is still a low threat overall, but a little bit better threat, if that makes sense, because we have more of those storm ingredients by the afternoon. Sometimes when we have these warm fronts that push through, they can be kind of sneaky, and we can see a couple storms that try to rotate along the front. And that again would be for that first batch of storms in the morning. But it's so dry out that I don't think that's going to be a problem as much for the morning. Between 2 and 9, then, we have a chance for a few isolated storms, again, mainly north of 40, closer to southern Kentucky. A couple of those could rotate. So a brief spin-up tornado is possible, along with wind and hail, which remain the main risks. But the potential for a few spin-up tornadoes will be there. So let's walk you through the timing here. And I'm going to come in here so I can scroll this. I've got Russell asking about Springfield and Jess asking about Clarksville. I would say both of those areas are within that small risk for severe weather tomorrow, both in the morning and in the afternoon. So Clarksville is included in this, and Springfield is included in this. So again, if you're closer to the Kentucky border, that's going to be where we're mainly focused for this low end risk for severe weather going into tomorrow. So here's overnight. Oh wait, this is going into the later part of the week. Let's go over here. This is. I gotta go in and move my time because I put in the wrong one. Okay, there we go. So this is overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Not a problem. Not a problem for anyone that is going to be, all of us going to bed tonight, not going to be worried about severe weather. I would say after 9 o'clock. So this is 9 a.m. And I'm actually seeing this with fresh eyes. I haven't seen the new run that just came in. Here's 9 a.m. Some of these would need to be monitored as, again, that warm front pushes through tomorrow morning. Sometimes along the boundary, a couple of these will try and misbehave. But again, the bigger risk looks to be more in the afternoon and into the evening. Here's 12 noon. We've got a few of those thunderstorms that are pushing through Christian County, Todd County, Hopkinsville, Bowling Green. So really throughout the morning hours, it'll be more what we call a babysitting event where we just need to keep an eye on the radar, but I don't expect a ton of activity during the morning. Now we go into the afternoon. Mike, I'm just looking at these comments too. Mike asking about Nashville. I think Nashville may be spared of the risk of severe weather tomorrow. We may get a stray shower, but notice as we go through the evening hours here, most of these storms are going to be up in southern Kentucky and then may stray into our northern counties here in Middle Tennessee. Clarksville, Gallatin, Lafayette, Westmoreland, Springfield, Portland, White House. These would be areas that we'll probably need to watch a little more. So here's 3 o'clock on, and notice as we head more into the evening hours, the storms continue in southern Kentucky. So once again, that's going to be our main focus. And I think a little bit farther north into central Kentucky and western Kentucky, those are areas that have a slightly better chance of tornadoes tomorrow. We're right on the fringe of this tornado risk. So it's one of those that, excuse me, we can't ignore, but I'm not overly concerned with the potential for tornadoes where we are in Middle Tennessee and then even to southern Kentucky. I would say that the biggest area that we, again, need to keep our eye on is going to be up in southern Kentucky. So here's 8 o'clock, here's 9 o'clock, and then as we get into the late evening hours here, 11 midnight, maybe a stray thunderstorm or two out towards the upper Cumberland region. I think generally after 9 o'clock, though, we'll start to see our severe risk diminish. We may need to keep an eye on the upper Cumberland through about midnight. But again, think that for the most part, the severe parameters will be coming down as we head deeper into the night. And then as we get into the overnight, it's not going to be a problem. So into early Wednesday. Jennifer asking if we're going to have severe weather later this week. I'm going to get to that here in just a minute. So we'll talk about that as well. As far as our upper level winds go for tomorrow, this is one reason why we think that there is at least a small potential. This is going to be what we call a high shear, low cape event. And you're going to hear that a lot, especially as we go into the winter months. We tend to lack a lot of storm energy, but we've got the wind support. So these are winds in the upper layers of the atmosphere, and this takes us through tomorrow afternoon. Notice these shades of brown, where we're seeing brown and into that white. Those are higher areas of wind. And notice your key here up at the top, we're getting into that 70 mile per hour plus range. But the concentration of those high winds are sort of bordering here in our viewing area. So most of it, as you can see, as we go through the afternoon, more into western Kentucky and into central Kentucky, we're kind of right on the edge of where those higher wind gusts are. But this is one thing that we look at as far as severe weather ingredients go. Remember, we talk about how there's a lot of ingredients that got to come together to create these severe thunderstorms, and this is just one component. Another one I'll show you here, and then we'll move on to the rest of the week, is our dew points. I was just talking about how dry it is outside. It's very dry. And dew points, as far as severe weather goes, typically our magic number for severe weather or strong thunderstorms to really begin to thrive is going to be 60 degrees. So dew points through the overnight are in the 20s. That's very dry air. So it's going to take a while for the atmosphere to retain more of the moisture coming in by mid-morning. And this is why I think our tornado risk for the morning hours is going to be very limited, if not zero. I can't 100% rule out a tornado in the morning, but I think it's a very limited threat because we're still looking at dew points in the 50s, and that's just not conducive for severe weather or storms that rotate tornadoes. Now, that changes as we get into the afternoon. We'll get a surge of moisture coming in from the west into the south. This is by 3. And notice now some of our western counties and communities are now in that 60-degree dew point range. So anything over 60 is usually favorable for severe thunderstorms. As we get deeper into the night, you can see that that moisture spreads throughout Middle Tennessee, and we kind of hover in those low 60s as we go through the overnight. But generally, the overall severe weather threat will be over no later than, I think, midnight on Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. So that's what we have for Tuesday. Jennifer was asking about severe weather later in the week. I can't rule that out at this point. I think it's still a little early. I don't see really strong signals for severe weather Thursday, Friday, but it's definitely on the table. I think it could be another low end like we're talking about now, but this one I think would be a little more widespread across the area. It would impact more of our communities. So the next big chance for showers and storms is expected to come in Thursday and Friday. This is Thursday. We take a look at some more rain here, and this would be along the warm front as it's coming through Thursday night and into early Friday morning. Not too much going on. We get into the afternoon, late morning afternoon, some showers and thunderstorms through midday on Friday. We may have to watch for a couple strong thunderstorms here as we get into Friday afternoon and into Friday evening. So there's the front as it's starting to come through. Would most likely be another Friday afternoon, evening event. And then notice most of the rain clears out of here by midnight, early Saturday morning. So to answer your question, yes, I think that at least the conversation needs to be had about maybe a couple strong thunderstorms for Thursday, more so Friday. But it's not an overall big threat that I'm seeing for now, where things are jumping off the page for severe weather. So that's good, but we'll have a better idea as we get into tomorrow, more so even into Wednesday. And we want to focus on this event first before we get too far ahead of ourselves for the later part of the week. But yeah, I do think that there could maybe be a low end risk on Friday for a couple strong thunderstorms. We have a pretty active week here. We've got this chance tomorrow. We do get a break on Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday, we've got that next batch that's coming in. And temperatures are going to be well above what is normal for this time of year. We're in the low to mid 70s when our average high should be around 60. So I know that can kind of put some folks, make them a little bit anxious just because we're getting into that November, December timeframe, secondary severe weather season, and temperatures are really warm and it's breezy outside. And those are ingredients that we need for strong thunderstorms. But again, as far as anything that is looking major for tomorrow, it's mainly going to be focused in Southern Kentucky and just clipping some of our northern counties here. If you're just tuning in, more of a threat for Kentucky, Indiana, and into Illinois as we head into tomorrow afternoon. I wouldn't be surprised either if they being the Storm Prediction Center, introduces a slight risk, a level 2 risk, and that would probably be just north of us, focused near maybe Paducah and Evansville, but we'll be close to it for tomorrow. Could maybe clip some of our southern Kentucky counties. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. But for now, it is a level 1 out of 5 risk. And again, not expecting widespread severe weather, but the potential for a few strong thunderstorms will be possible for not only the morning, but more so going into the afternoon and into the evening hours for Tuesday. And then we'll probably be talking about more thunderstorms as we head into Thursday and into Friday. I'm just scrolling through again any of these comments here, and looks like I have answered for the most part most of them here. Yeah, Ron was asking, is it going to be warm in southern Middle Tennessee due to the warm front? Yeah, everybody's looking at temperatures in the mid 70s for tomorrow. And it does look like it'll be a little breezy too. So that is something that we're going to keep our eye on here. Someone else asking if Tennessee is going to get snow. Not with this event. This is all going to be strong thunderstorms. That's going to be what we see. All right, guys. Well, I just wanted to pop on real fast and give you a quick update on what was going on tomorrow. Hope everyone is having a good start to the week. And we'll have more for you coming up tonight on Fox 17 News at 9 o'clock. We'll see you guys then.